Good evening, everyone. My name is Diane Gopal, and I am a visiting nurse with VNA Healthcare. I would like to talk to you today about diabetes. Diabetes is a very deadly disease that goes undiagnosed and is vastly being spread throughout the United States and around this world. There are three different types of diabetes. There's juvenile diabetes, there's insulin-dependent diabetes, and there's non-insulin dependent diabetes. Juvenile diabetes actually is diabetes that's diagnosed within children. Non-insulin diabetes and insulin-dependent diabetes are usually diagnosed in the adult ages. Diabetes is actually a disease that affects our endocrine system, where our pancreas does not produce enough insulin in our body to break down the foods that we eat into simple sugars for our body to store for energy, which we need in order to survive. It is important that we do check to make sure that we're not diabetics, because if the blood sugars are running elevated within our body system, it causes our arteries to actually build up with plaque. And what it does, it can lead to blindness, where we come down with what we call retinopathy, which is diseased arteries in our eyes, so we can't see, we lose our eyesight. It leads to neuropathy, where the circulation is so poor in our body system, especially our feet, that we cannot walk, and sometimes it can lead to amputations of our toes and our feet. It actually puts us at risk to come down with what we call cellulitis as well, and prone to having open areas or sores in our body because of this poor circulation. It actually leads to kidney failure, where our kidneys do not work anymore, and we need our kidneys to filter out our bloodstream to get rid of waste matter. And when people are diagnosed with kidney failure, they end up on dialysis, which is permanent for the rest of their lives. The most important part of this disease, which it affects, is our heart. It can lead to what we call coronary artery disease, where the arteries in our heart are so narrow or so thin, blood cannot go through, causing us to have heart attacks. Sometimes the plaque breaks off and it goes straight to your brain, causing strokes. So as you can see, how many systems this disease affects. Not only our pancreas, but our heart, our circulatory system, our kidneys, our eyesight, our skin. Some of the signs and symptoms of this disease basically is extreme thirstiness, where we're thirsty all the time. We're hyper sometimes. Sometimes we have no energy at all, where we're so lethargic and fatigued. We're hungry, and sometimes you can have mood swings with this disorder as well. Hypoglycemia, or low blood sugars, which is opposite of diabetes, but it still goes with diabetes, is you have the same exact symptoms. So it's very important for someone to actually be diagnosed with the word diabetes itself. Diabetes can be controlled with low sugar diets, medications, and exercise. Exercise is very important for the circulation throughout the body and to help break down the foods that we eat. Diabetes can actually be diagnosed through a blood work called A1C. Basically, you would fast in the morning, you would have your blood drawn, and they're checking for the amount of sugar in your bloodstream. If the result is 6 or more, they would consider you to be diabetic. But in order for the doctor to actually properly diagnose you as a diabetic, he would ask or request of you to keep a log and check your blood sugars frequently. He would ask you to check it first thing you wake up in the morning, before and after meals, and when you go to bed at night. And he would actually ask for you to record on a daily basis the foods that you eat, what time you eat, and the activity you're doing. After a week, then he will call you into his office and review this log with you and make a proper decision on what to do. If he feels that he will start you off on a pill and ask you to keep recording same daily log before and after you eat to see if the sugars are controlled. If the sugars are not controlled, then he might put you on insulin depending on what the factors are, because there are several different types of medications out there now where people can be on 3 or 4 different types of oral medications before going on insulin. The hardest things for most diabetics to do is pricking their finger and checking their blood sugars. But it's very important that it's done for us in order to know if the medications is actually working right and if they are on the right medications. Another thing what's important about this disease is some people say it's a genetic disease, but as we know, it is linked with genetics, but no one really knows what causes our pancreas to start acting this way. The only real cure for diabetes is having a pancreas transplant done, which is very hard to come by, especially because of the risk factors involved. But as you can see, if we all get diagnosed and with the proper medications used, we can actually prevent coming down with a heart attack, a stroke, kidney failure, or even losing our eyesight, which I know means a lot to all of us, especially happy, healthy individuals. So I implore everyone that we all get checked for diabetes, and to see the fact that diabetes is a very important disease which affects our endocrine system and affects more than just our endocrine system, but our whole entire body as well. Thank you.